Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Happy Monday, guys. We're getting through April. It's April 28th. We are almost through April. Got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about today. We're going to be going over some of the things that happened over the weekend. Thank you for all of you who joined us for our premium live yesterday on a Sunday. We appreciate you. If you would, do us a favor. Share this out, hit that like button. Let's get the real news out to folks. We know we're going to talk a little bit about mainstream media, how it's dying, how what the percentage of negative coverage is of President Trump for all the good that has been done, especially with all the obstruction from Democrats and rogue judges, activist judges. We're going to talk about all that and more, and want to say thank you for jumping in here. Let me jump into the comments. By the way, my voice is going to be a little off today. Yesterday, um, we wondered if Caden was getting sick on Saturday because he's usually not a cranky kid, and he was getting a little crankier. And I was like, well, Rachel said something, and I was like, well, he looks fine. And yesterday, he started coughing a little, not too much. And then last night I went to bed and I woke up at like 3 this morning with my throat hurting and my nose is a little clogged. So bear with us today. We appreciate you. If my brain seems a little scattered, but let me jump into the comments. I got to make sure I can even start, because if old Uncle Bill's not here, we're just going to cut off the live stream right now. We're just going to end it. Let's see who's here. Cade, Texas is in the house. Oh, it's Monday. What's up, Josh and Oreo Army? Hope you're doing well out there in Texas, Cade. Thank you for being here. Pixie's in the house. You know what that means? The cuss jar's out and it needs filling. Trina's in the house. Hello, Trina. Thank you for jumping in here and helping out. Susan's in the house. What's up, Susan? Paget CA. There it is. Oh, Uncle Bill, we can continue with the show, guys. We can continue with the show. Let's see what else we got. Deb V, Sugar Bear, C. Marcia, Chris B. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you would, hit that share, hit that thumbs up. Yeah. So yesterday, what we had church. We did a premium live stream, which we're going to go over a lot of the stuff we did in the premium live stream, because usually Monday's first show is the weekend recap and some of the exciting stuff that's already going on. I'm going to tell you, this Monday morning has been pretty packed, political wise. Just, a lot of Trump's cabinet in different places doing different things. And it just seems like they don't slow down. They don't slow down, and it's going to be good. And then, of course, the White House did more to trigger the legacy media, the fake legacy media that's dying. And it was just hilarious. We got when we talk about border stuff, and again, we're going to talk about the raid in Colorado. There was a huge raid of an underground nightclub that was illegally being ran. They arrested a little more than 200 people. Over 100 of them were illegal aliens, suspected illegal aliens. So we're going to talk about that. And then some more stuff came out since yesterday. I guess this particular club was known about under the Biden administration, and they didn't give the go ahead to take care of it. So again, promises made, promises kept, guys. And we got some funnies as well. For those of you that weren't here yesterday, we got we had a good time at the rodeo. It was rodeo weekend. Next week, I don't know where I'll be, if we're going to be traveling or not. But we get to start the farmers market so Caden can start dancing. Here's one of those pictures from the rodeo that day. And if you guys missed the live stream of the parade, we have a pretty good parade here in Clovis. We live stream it. It'll be a Saturday live stream from us. And we had this epic flyover. Robert. That was pretty epic. A lot of Patriot stuff going on there at in Clovis for the rodeo. It was packed. It was packed. They sell out. They start. I think today is when they open up tickets for next year, and I always want to get them early, and we never get around to getting them early. But it was a good time. We love it down there. Caden had a blast. We got to. It was a splurge day, guys. I got to pig out all day long, and if you know me, that's what makes me happy. Now check this out. I want to show you this. This is an all-time epic. This one right here was a town hall meeting in Corona, New York, in the Queens Public Library. And it was AOC was doing a little town hall. And you know what? We still can't figure if this is parody or not, because when it comes down to it, we know the extremists on the left and how they support AOC and Bernie. You see them when we were in Bakersfield, some of the stuff those folks said. I mean, you're just like, this is America. We like some of the stuff you're talking about is just beyond comprehension. But take a look at this one. The babies, right,
that's a big problem. We're not going to be here for much long because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the babies, and this is very serious. Please give a response.
Thank you. No, thank you. We'll go ahead.
Okay.
No, we'll go ahead. No. Yeah, no. Thank you. So I think So one of the things that's very important to us is that we need to treat the climate crisis with the urgency that it does present. Luckily, we have more than a few months. We do need to hit net zero in several years. But I think we all need to understand that there are a lot of solutions that we have and that we can pursue, and that if we act in a positive way, there's space for hope. We are never beyond hope. Okay.
Oh man, I mean, when you look at AOC's talking points over the years, it sounds like she has fed into the BS that we only have 8 years left of existence on this planet, blah blah blah. This woman is saying, eat the babies, even if we bomb Russia. It's not enough. It was just absolutely epic. What else? She looked at the crowd and said, "You're all pollutants." Because again, in order to do what Democrats want, we would have to go extinct pretty much, even though all their numbers are false. When they talk about the carbon breakdown, we're not going to get into it, but that, carbon is not the highest it's ever been. Actually quite the opposite. It just goes to show you, when people listen to lamestream media, the lies constantly, these are the things that fills their brain. And I'm not exaggerating. When you talk to some of these people, when you're out on the streets, especially, they're more likely to talk to you a lot of times when you don't have a camera. So some of the conversations I have off camera, I'm like, holy, you know what? Pixie's in here. I'm not going to say it. It's absolutely insane. They are the party of extremism. Speaking of extremists, one of them just got relieved of their duties. And when we talk about the people that Trump are getting rid of at our federal government, it's people that are working against me and you, people that are working against his administration. I want to play this video of a woman who was recently fired from the U.S. State Department. And this is more of an example of, when you sit here and think, sometimes you could think, man, it's just tough for these people losing their jobs. But then, you know what? There's probably more so where it's a good thing these people lost their jobs. They were not doing anything good for you or me. They were activists in their position. I want you to listen to
genocide and how so this week I lost my dream State Department. I worked in the War Crimes Office, but Trump and Rubio decided to eliminate that office, not to mention the entire undersecretariat that deals with human rights and democracy and labor. So I'm out of a job. And the only silver lining there is that I get my voice back because I'm no longer working for this administration, which is hell-bent on bringing us into fascism. So brand new to TikTok, just wanted to introduce myself and say hi. I have a PhD from Oxford University where I focused on how countries recover from genocide and how victims get justice. That's what I was trying to do as a senior policy advisor in the Office of Global Criminal Justice, which no longer exists at the U.S. State Department. So I'm here and I'm looking for ways to continue the good fight.
I just want you to look at those eyes, guys. You can see these people a mile away. She's based her whole career, her whole education off literally lies and wokeness. Like, our government was paying for that. I'm glad they got rid of that department. Like, what did you do? I mean, this would be a great one for that 5 things you did last week. What's 5 things you did last week? She couldn't fill out any of them. Cried, talked about how bad and how fascist Trump is. Those are the reason you guys are gone, and we are happy to see it. It would be like anything. It would be like, you own a store, a restaurant, a burger restaurant, and bringing in people that only support burritos, guys. That bottom line is make it easy to understand as possible. Trump's doing some good triggering here. We got some elections up in Canada, and he put good luck to the great people of Canada. Elect the man who has the strength and wisdom to cut your taxes in half, increase your military power for free to the highest level in the world, have your car, steel, aluminum, lumber, energy, and all other business quadruple in size with 0 tariffs or taxes. If Canada becomes the cherished 51st state of the United States of America, no more artificially drawn line from many years ago. Look how beautiful this landmass would be. Free access with no border, all positives with no negatives. It was meant to be. America can no longer subsidize Canada with the hundreds of billions of dollars a year that we have been spending in the past. It makes no sense unless Canada is a state. I just love it. But he actually garnered a response from Pierre, I don't know how to say his last name, Poilievre. And he said, President Trump, stay out of our elections. The only people who will decide the future of Canada are Canadians at the ballot box. Canada will always be proud, sovereign, and independent, and we will never be the 51st state. Today, Canadians can vote for change so we can strengthen our country, stand on our own 2 feet, and stand up to America from a position of strength. Canada has, and I'm not bashing the people of Canada. I'm talking economically, just strategically, they have no position of strength. It's just interesting. I think we know where that election's going to go. We'll probably cover it a little later in our second show. Now, with everything you when you turn on the TV, when you turn on the news, like I said, I keep local news on in the background when we're cooking dinner or something like that, to hear what's going on locally, because I'm so far detached from local news compared to where I used to be. I just want to hear something, and then from there, I look into it to get the truth. One thing that we are seeing is these calls to violence. Take it to the street, fight in the street, bring a weapon. We've had Democrats for a while. Well, everything they're doing is not working. Yesterday, and I'm not going to bring it up today, but yesterday it was funny. There was a sit-in outside the steps of the Capitol, and it was just hilarious. They sat there for, wow, I can't believe we're here 4 hours. I can't believe we're here 6 hours, doing absolutely nothing, not fixing anything for their constituents. Again, more of a showboating. And then Governor Pritzker from Illinois, I want you to listen to what he says here, because we told you this summer will be worse than the summer of love, and we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. I want you to listen to what Pritzker had to say.
For disruption. Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. I want you to listen to how this is worded, because he's reading it. He's being careful. Don't get me wrong.
They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
So listen to this one more time.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests.
Now, we know historically when protests happen, and those protests are promoted from the left, Black Lives Matter, the Hamas groups, there is lots of violence, destruction. Again, when we talk about BLM and we talk about the defund the police movement, it worked. It worked. A lot of cities that were looking out their windows and seeing cars on fire and seeing buildings burning down and police stations on fire, they caved and they defunded the police. And now, years later, they are begging for police. Crime is skyrocketing. Trump's out there saying, we'll help you. And they're turning that down because, once again, they can't allow Trump to do something that they know he will win at and do a good job. And I'm telling you right here, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting because we've seen lots of calls. A lot of the people on the Democrat side, on the Democrat Party, has called for acts of fighting and violence and bringing weapons to the streets. And we're getting to that point right now. We are in spring. It's getting ramped up. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. And it's just scary, to say the least, that this is where we are at. And I can tell you that it's going to happen. We will be on the streets recording and documenting some of it as it happens. But I feel bad for the small business owners, the innocent people that will be murdered, the innocent people that will be assaulted, the people that walk out to their car in a parking lot and it's up in flames. We've seen what they've done over the last couple months because of Elon. We've seen what they did at the Tesla showrooms, Molotov cocktails, that vandalism. I mean, I think we have 3 or 4 arrested that on federal charges that are facing up to 20 years in prison. One's actually facing up to 40 years in prison. And when we go through these people's social media, this is what they listen to. They listen to the Democrat Socialists of America. They listen. They listen to for the the PSL, Party of Socialism and Liberation. These are groups that hate what America stands for. They hate everything our founders intended, and they're going to do everything to destroy this country from within. I've told you this. It's not going to be a superpower somewhere that takes us on. It's not going to happen. We are, again, the biggest allies to China and to these terrorist groups that want to destroy America. Their biggest allies are Democrats. You're seeing it today. We're going to cover it in the next show. But they're talking about the tariffs, and now these people that order online from China, a dress or a shirt, and now there's a large stiff tariff on that Chinese mobile app, Democrats are fighting for the country of China, the Communist Party of China. And you're like, wow, can't we just do a little bit? Can't we just do a little bit and say, hey, because for years when we've played the clips, you had Schumer, you had all these others that were saying, hey, guess what? Guess what? We need to take on China. We are losing manufacturing jobs. Our supply chain is dependent on China, whether it's medicine or anything else. And they actually called to take on China. That isn't happening anymore. So let's see what else we got. Listen to this. This was interesting because we're going to get into the mainstream media. We're going to get the big talk today is the polls. That's the leftist push, is that Americans are not supporting Trump. They're not happy with his policies. We told you this would come. Literally, when they started, what was it? Rachel Maddow said they were going to do, I think it was Rachel Maddow. I can't remember, but somebody on MSNBC said every day for the first 100 days, they'd be covering Trump's first 100 days in office. And I said, what they were going to do was everything they do is going to be criticized. When they make communities safer, it's going to be criticized. When they arrest a rapist, it's going to be criticized. When they go after gang members and deport them, it's going to be criticized. So much so that Democrats are flying to foreign countries to get MS-13 gang members brought back to the United States, folks. You can't make that up. Well, I seen this. This was from Glenn Greenwald. It says CNN's full-scale collapse continues rapidly. It reaches a remarkable new low led by Caitlin Collins and Abby D. Phillips. Fewer than 500,000 viewers total in prime time. Now, this is CNN. When you think about it, you might not watch CNN, but CNN is a large station. It's, the advertising dollars it brings in. I mean, it's one of the premier when it comes to advertising, right? And this was Ad Week. It says Wednesday, April 23rd, evening cable news ratings. CNN falls below 500,000 viewers during prime time. Oh, wow. Then we have this right here. Let me show you some of the things. Here it is. Fox News Channel at 9 p.m. had almost 2.5 million. Caitlin Collins had less than 500,000. That means Sean Hannity, and I'm not a big fan. Times what CNN is doing. Same thing at Gutfield. Gutfield was almost up to 3 million, and Philip was still struggling with not even 500,000. And this is the demographic. Look at this. When you look at the demographic, how did this one read? 25 to 54-year-olds, which is a key and important audience. That those are, a lot of times you'll get people 70 and over watching CNN over everything else because for so long they've trusted the media, they believe the media, it's just entrenched. But what is that? 76,000 people in their main demographic that you want to have as a news agency. And I thought this was a prime example. Again, especially when we get up to what they're covering. Listen to this. Now they are saying America is unhappy with Trump and all his policies. And we're going to get into this a little. We actually have a focus group done by Frank Lutz where he shared the video because people are trying to say, these people that Democrats pay, their social media influencers, they're trying to find people. I watched a video, it's funny, like 2 weeks ago, and they shared this video, this person, I am so upset that I voted for Trump. I live in this rural area, and I thought things would be different, but it's just been more of the same from Trump. And I was like, man, and I found out that person in the video, and I went back and I looked at their their pages on multiple social media platforms, they've had TDS forever. I went back 4 years and they were saying, oh, Trump should be in jail, Trump this. So they're using this fake storyline to make you believe that people are hating on Trump. I want you to listen to this.
So many promises made.
And this is probably one of the biggest news today when it comes to trends is Trump nears 100 days in office. And they're all saying that he's done a horrible job. Let's not forget, the border is 99% closed. The things that Democrats kept open, the things that Democrats said would have I know people that voted for Trump just for the border. They're done. Like literally, there's people out there that vote specifically on one item and they're okay. They're financially okay. All they wanted was the border closed. They should be happy, right? I would be. Listen to this.
By the president as well. Not only so many promises made too by the president as well, not only on the campaign trail, but certainly in these first 100 days. If you look at this right here, if you look at some of the issues, what is fueling this right now, it shows it's really across the board right now. And if you look at where he was in mid-February and you look where he is right now, he is underwater on every issue from a minimum of 3 percentage points to a maximum of 9 percentage points, specifically when it comes to inflation in the economy, as you point out, which is supposed to be his, his expertise at this point. What is also interesting, just overall too, Sarah, is that he is down 7 points from late February, as we note him being an all-time low. That is an amazing drop in such a short period of time. So Donald Trump right now is having to deal with some of this, some of the fallout with the reality that many of his programs that he's trying to institute and many of his cuts that he's trying to institute are just not taking hold.
So you ask yourself, again, and we don't go off polls. We use them a lot as talking points. That's what we use them at. My poll is actually being out on the streets. That is my poll. That is how I gauge what is going on. I want you to listen to this. This was over the weekend. Again, they're pushing a narrative. Now remember, you can't turn on CNN and MSNBC. Donald Trump has done nothing right. If he arrested a child rapist, they don't say, hey, you know what? Good job on the Trump administration. They do no positive coverage of Donald Trump. But watch this.
2026, the Republicans have any shot. There is pretty much zero chance if Donald Trump's approval rating is 41% in November of 2026, the Republicans have any shot of holding the House of Representatives. There is no, I repeat, there is no precedent for a president's approval rating being as low as Donald Trump's is right now, and then his party holding on to the House in the midterm elections. We were talking about it yesterday. I mean, when you look at approval ratings this low, this early, you look at where the generic ballot is this low, this early, that usually spells doom for the president's party when it comes to midterm elections.
Yeah.
There is pretty much zero.
So we've talked about it. Again, we covered this way before their talking points. We said one of the big issues that they have and what they are trying to do is delay through activist judges all these lawsuits. They are trying to delay Trump's agenda. So it looks like chaos until the midterms. This is all they're doing is delaying. Trump has done what he has promised. Again, the biggest thing was the border within like a week was already pretty much secure. And he continues to do more on the border. But let's take a look at something else. Let's take a look at something else right here. Look at this right here. This is from the media research company. TV News hates Trump's second term just as much as they detested his first one. Donald Trump coverage, 92%. Negative coverage, 92%. Why? Because again, it's legacy media. They have tried to destroy Donald Trump. They have ran with everything they could for the last 10 years to make this man a bad person, Hitler, a Nazi. I mean, think about these programs and what we've seen. And what I will say, as some of these pollings, you had people that watch these programs, not religiously, but they'll turn on CNN. They'll turn on some of the other ones. I won't say they turn on MSNBC, but they voted for Trump, even though that was against what they felt was right when they looked at our economy, looked what happened under Joe Biden. I mean, remember, Joe Biden, when Joe Biden was in office, we were told he was sharp as a tack. He was ready to lead. I mean, this was just months before the election, before they pulled a coup on him. And now you actually have those same anchors from these fake news companies coming out writing a book about how it was a big cover up for Joe Biden. This is something that's going to be very big and upcoming, because again, it's going to take independent media. It's going to take you guys to actually share the truth, because I want to do good in the midterms and we still have some time, but their goal is to sabotage Republicans. They're going to put up, when you hear Republicans on CNN and MSNBC, they're going to pull up the Murkowskis of the world, people that hate Trump, that hate everything this country was founded on, that only care about being in power in their moderate area. That's it. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find this one here. I want to show you what Trump had to say. And I couldn't agree with him more. See if it pulls up. This was at 5 o'clock this morning. We don't have a free and fair press in this country anymore. We have a press that writes bad stories and cheats big on polls. It's compromised and corrupt. We've known this for a long time. And I'm telling you, RFK Jr. cannot ban Big Pharma from advertising on the TV soon enough. There's only 2 countries in this entire world that allows Big Pharma to advertise. I mean, when you put it on CNN or you put it on a lot of these, what do you hear? First commercial, Big Pharma. Second commercial, Big Pharma. Whatever it is, you know, if you're, I won't go into that one. I was going to say, if you experience an erection for longer than 4 hours, we've all heard that. That's big money. That's how they're getting paid, guys. Now, I want to listen to this one. This was News Nation. This is a Kentucky resident. Let's take a listen.
Amazing. He couldn't have.
What do you think of the first 100 days of Trump?
Blown away. Amazing. Amazing. He couldn't have done any better. For 78 years old, he is phenomenal. I'd like to see anybody who can stay up as late as he does at night and be up the next morning and still function all day, because I don't think I could.
What have you liked the most in terms of what he's done?
Oh my gosh, the immigration policies. You know, if you're here illegally, you need to go home.
What do you think of the first 100 days of Trump?
Now, that's what we're hearing out there. That is what we're hearing out there. And I played this yesterday in our premium live, and I want you guys to listen to this. This is Frank Lutz. Let me pull this off the bottom here so you can see actual Frank Lutz. And Frank Lutz wanted these. These are all Trump voters. They come from West Virginia, Florida, Missouri, New York, Nevada, Colorado, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Carolina, Ohio, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, and Virginia. Let's see what they had to say. Because everybody's saying, oh, those Trump voters are really regretting their vote.
In 2022, they crashed it by 25%.
I need to ask you an issue that no one's brought up and that has crashed your 401ks, most of you, which are tariffs. Stock market is way down.
It needed a correction.
Oh, so you support it?
Yes. You bet.
Yep.
How many?
And I have to tell you,
how many?
my 401k wasn't impacted at all.
How many? First off, how many of you did not lose any money over the drop, over the crash of the stock market? One individual, 2 people. So, Serena,
the Biden administration, I lost more money than the Trump administration by far.
In 2020.
Like
in 2022, they crashed it by
40% or more.
25%. Yeah. for the whole year.
Listen to that. These people are actually somewhat educated in what happened. They're talking about the stock market, and that gentleman says in 2022, the stock market crashed 22%, 2 years after Biden was in office. 25%. You didn't have the media harassing or hounding Democrats. You didn't even have them talking about it. Think about the difference. This is why when Trump says the fake news legacy media, this is what he means. Take a listen to the rest of this. Oh, come
No
on.
one's upset over this?
No.
Nope.
No.
Nobody.
There's not a
there's an end
single
game here, though.
40-year period in the history of the stock market where the stock market hasn't appreciated at an average rate of about 7%. It's so, yeah, there's ups and downs and corrections, and sometimes people are foolish and they jump out, buy high, sell low. But if people just get in and stay the course, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I'm not a day trader. I try not to look at it very often, which is, I think, a good thing. But I also trust that Trump and all of his advisors that are involved with the tariff issue know what they're doing. So I'm just going to hang on. I know it'll correct at some point. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it.
I think how much more are you willing to pay for products and services that come out of China? How much do prices have to go up before you say, this is not that great?
I'd rather not buy from China. I'd rather pay more money and buy American.
Same.
And prices only go up if demand is inelastic.
And I think what she said, I would rather not buy from China. Those people that are absolute patriots, that's how they feel. I can tell you that personally, that is how, there might be some things when prices go up due to tariffs that are imported from China that we might not buy or hold off on buying, but we would prefer to buy those things in the United States of America. They're not talking about food. They're not talking about necessities. They're talking about wants.
And if there's no alternative supplies. And they're doing a brilliant job. They're surrounding China with countries that want to manufacture stuff as well. And we do need to bring the stuff back, the strategic stuff for sure. But China is going to be in the soup if they don't knock it off.
Every article of clothing I have on is probably made in China, Malaysia, or somewhere else. Okay, retailers, give me something made in America. I'd gladly buy it, but it's not there. Go to Walmart. You ain't going to find jack shit, pair of socks and underwears made in America.
Made in China.
Maybe. But, shoes, Nikes, Pumas, they're all overrated. They're probably all made overseas. How many American shoe companies have you seen go kaput? There used to be one 30 miles down the road, made Stride Rite, made great shoes. You don't hear from them. China, Malaysia.
We need a correction. We just need a correction.
We need a correction. That guy was absolutely, when it comes to these manufacturers, these companies, and a lot of it had to do with a lot of regulations and how much it costs to manufacture in the United States. And again, Democrats support slave labor. Democrats support a 7-year-old putting your shoelaces in your shoes to be boxed. I remember this used to be a big thing. I'm going to say it was probably the 90s. Maybe it was all fake outrage. I didn't investigate it then because I didn't care. I wasn't in politics. I used to have, that attitude where it was like, well, I got my shoes. I don't care who made them, right? But there used to be a big hit on these foreign manufacturers because the way they treated their employees. They were like, it was amazing here. Our chickens in California are treated better than a lot of the people in China that are manufacturing our product. And that's not for all manufacturing in China. I worked for a company that did manufacturing in China, and I could tell you, part of our negotiations and our contracts were that they got breaks, that they got a fair wage. We did that. But again, the only reason we had to do that is because rules of regulations in California, half the stuff we couldn't even do. And then when the Democrats say, oh, we care about the environment. Have you seen the pollutants and what happens in China with those chemicals that we actually dispose of properly? I'm going to have to bring up a special. There is a great YouTube special we need to watch together one time. It's just insane. But that's where we are, folks. That's so when you do a poll, I just 90% of this TV stations that you turn on, if you turn on, a lot of people don't even have cable no more. So you just turn on your local. All you hear is the negative about Trump. You don't hear how, you know what, America is safer. You don't hear how he's bringing other countries to the negotiating table so that China doesn't have such a stranglehold on our economy, you know, on our medicines. You don't hear anything good. So when you poll the average person and all they've heard was, what was that? Let me pull it up one more time. I don't think I got it up here. What was it? 90-something% negative coverage. That was from the media research company. Well, again, that shows you that their marketing game is working. They want to destroy Trump for the midterms. If Trump was able to implement all his policies without rogue judges getting in the way and trying to delay this, they know they can delay it for months and months, and that's all we're going to talk about. Instead of it actually being able to go through and us seeing the success of Donald Trump's policies, they want to delay that because they are scared about the midterms. The White House, check this out, says, I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes. President Donald J. Trump. Now, you guys know, I want to say I recognized it more in the Obama era is probably when a lot of this started to get mainstream. You always had your extremist out there, but they vilify and talk about how bad Columbus is and how it isn't Columbus Day. Now, a lot of schools, I know Oregon, they don't celebrate Columbus Day. They've switched it to Indigenous Peoples Day. Again, more wokeism, more part of the woke culture. And this was Donald Trump's tweet on that. It says, I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes. The Democrats did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, and all of the Italians that love him so much. They tore down his statues and put up nothing but woke, or even worse, nothing at all. Well, you'll be happy to know Christopher is going to make a major comeback. I am hereby reinstating Columbus Day under the same rules, dates, and locations as it has had for all the many decades before. Again, when I was in school, we would sing songs about Christopher Columbus, how he, we would talk about the how he sailed over, all these things. And it was never that he was this bad person. It was talking about some of the things he did, the chances he took. And I think now you have the total opposite going on. And that's great to know that, again, just I went through social media and I looked up that post and who was sharing it. The left is triggered. You even had one idiot say, where have they tried to cancel Christopher Columbus? Well, taking down his statues, removing our teachers from educating about him, not telling the truth about him. That's how they did it. And guys, just a reminder, we are 100% viewer funded. We continue with your donations and we want to say thank you for all your help. If you're on Rumble, you can actually purchase a $5 a month subscription and all that $5 goes to us. We can use it for the bills, for travel, and everything else. And we have some exciting stuff that we want to do coming up. So if you guys want to help out, we would appreciate it. You can donate at Venmo Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And we also have a Zelle link provided on our website. If you do bank transfer or use your mobile banking app to transfer, you can go to theoreoexpress.com. There is a Zelle transfer and all our donation links. It's on our homepage. All you got to do is scroll down and go to Donate Now button. So I just want to say thank you. So yesterday, you had the pro-Hamas group out there. A lot went on. So they went into a typical Jewish neighborhood where they were holding an event and they were protesting. I just want to show you some of the video from that.
Yes, that's what I love. I love this. I love it. Yes, yes, that's what I love. I love this.
Let me refresh this. There we go.
Yes, yes, that's what I love. I love this. I love
We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! From the river to the sea! All people will be free! From the sea to the river! From the sea to the river! This is America! This is America! There is only one country! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free!
Yes, yes, that's what I love.
There was some different things that went on out there, of course. We got some other videos here. This was some arrests being made. It got a little exciting out there. Again, I just want to say this. If I'm standing up for, I don't know, Europe, if I'm standing up for the UK, I'm not going to take it to the streets of America and destroy the streets of America. I'm going to have the balls to actually go over there and do something, right, and stand up. If that's what my belief is that's what keeps the oxygen flowing through my blood veins. These people, again, are just anti-American pieces of trash.
Give me your head! Stop blocking me! Get back!
Back up. Come on. You hear that? Stop hurting her. Stop hurting. I want to know if they were misgendering this person, and I think that's really, really bad to assume one's identity, especially when they look like this. But watch as she walks away and she kicks this guy.
You are unlawfully walking in the roadway. I am ordering you to go back on the sidewalk now. If you do so voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you remain in the roadway.
So that was some of it. We got a couple other videos. Again, when they're calling, we just had the governor of Illinois calling for mass protests. This is what they want. They want chaos. They want the police departments not to be able to do their job. They want to overwhelm the system. That's the bottom line. You overwhelm the system, you can crash the system. And it's unfortunate. Let me see here. This was from Viral News NYC. Take a look at this. So if you see this person right here, these looks like two communist CCP agitators right there. NYC, our Viral News NYC also posted this, that person is the Antifa domestic terror suspect, Teresa Yu Shin. This is a picture of her last time. She was arrested for domestic terrorism charges for what happened at the Stop Cop City event in Atlanta, Georgia. Remember when all that was going on? I don't think I'm going to have to follow up on that. Maybe now that Pam Bondi's in, we'll actually do something to terrorists that do that stuff. That's where even one of their own got in a shootout with police officers, and they tried to make him a martyr. Check this out. We talked about it. It's still going on. The fake news. We're going to cover it some. But did you know Donald Trump is going door to door and deporting 2-year-old children? That's right, guys. I know. It was everything we talked about against, just grabbing children and deporting them. Well, if you didn't know, that's because that's not happening. But that's how the media is covering what is going on with deportations instead of telling you the truth. This was some of the posts that were going out by the paid influencers on the left. He's already shipping out homegrowns, and toddlers hardly put up a fight. It says 2-year-old U.S. citizen was deported with no meaningful process. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Trump's deporting 2-year-olds now? Luckily, Caden's 4. We should be okay because that was an American citizen, right? That's what they're trying to say. And then you have this right here. Take a look at this. See, come on, load up. This is effing outrageous. Trump administration deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen with no meaningful process. So again, the headlines to grab your attention, to put those poll numbers lower, all fake news. And I think you guys probably know about it by now. But let me just say the articles even they're sharing are somewhat correct. It said a federal judge, let me put this up on the screen. A federal judge on Friday said he has a strong suspicion that Trump administration deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen to Honduras with no meaningful process. The U.S. citizen, identified in filings as VML, was initially detained with her undocumented mother and sister at a routine immigration checkpoint in New Orleans earlier this week. After the father of the 2-year-old learned about that his family was detained, his lawyer called immigration officials to inform them that VML is a U.S. citizen and could not be deported. Well, so this child, just so you guys know, the mother was an illegal alien. The child was an anchor baby. So when the mother was deported, she told ICE officials, I'm taking my son with me. And we'll get into some of that, more of that, and then some of the funnies. But listen to, once again, this was all over ABC, CBS, NBC. I mean, you would think, just me reading it, if I didn't know that fake news was fake news, I would have been like, what the hell is Trump doing just grabbing 2-year-olds and shipping them off? Like, do they have family there? Like, you know what I mean? Because they don't give you the whole story. I want you to listen to Marco Rubio yesterday, I think, on Meet the Press.
Is it the U.S. policy to deport children, even U.S. citizens, with their families? And I hear what you're saying, without due process, just to be very clear there.
Well, no. Again, if someone's in this country unlawfully, illegally, that person gets deported. If that person is with a 2-year-old child or has a 2-year-old child and says, I want to take my child with me, well, then you have two choices. You can say, yes, of course you can take your child, whether they're a citizen or not, because it's your child. Or you can say, yes, you can go, but your child must stay behind. And then your headlines would read, U.S. holding hostage 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 7-year-old while mother deported. So the parents make that choice. I imagine those 3 U.S. citizen children have fathers here in the United States. Yeah. They can stay with their father. That's up to their family to decide where the children go. Children go with their parents. Parents decide where their children go. Right. The U.S. deported their mothers who were illegally in America.
Mr. Secretary, is it the U.S.
Pretty
policy to
simple,
deport
right?
children.
But that's not how the headlines read. And then even I seen this. I'm not a fan of. I'll show you here in a minute. Let's just go this. This was actually the Politico article, and listen to what it says. Trump administration officials said in a court that the mother told ICE officials she wished to take VML with her to Honduras. The filing included a handwritten note in Spanish they claim was written by the mother and confirmed her intent. So Democrats want to separate families. Democrats, if we deport an illegal alien that has a child, and Democrats are really big on the human trafficking, the sex trafficking. I mean, they supported the sex trafficking of millions of women by our open border policies under Mayorkas and Joe Biden. What was it? Up to 70-something% were sexually assaulted, even the children on their way over here. And they were okay with that. Democrats were okay with that. They were applauding it, actually. But listen to this one. I thought this was funny right here. Charlemagne the God, which I'm not a fan of, but I just want, he's kind of an idol on the left many times. Listen to what he says.
2-year-old got deported. I didn't know that the mother had got deported because she wasn't a citizen. You know what, Morgan? I did not know until you said it about the 2-year-old. I mean, I knew about the 2-year-old getting deported, but all the news reports just kept saying that a 2-year-old got deported. I didn't know that the mother had got deported because she wasn't a citizen. I mean, I didn't know that.
Why didn't he know that? I mean, this is someone that you would consider probably up on the anti-Donald Trump rhetoric. He pushes it as well. And he didn't know the mother got deported with a child because all the headlines said what? And this is what they're doing. This is the way they try and beat Trump, through the media, like they did last time. They tried it for the last 4 years with the indictments and everything else, and it backfired. He won all 7 swing states. This is also in turn to, if you pulled up your phone and you're on Facebook and you're not big on social media, you just look on Facebook maybe 20 minutes a day, see what's going on, and you read that headline, Donald Trump deports 2-year-old. And that's all the information you have. And then your phone rings. And this has happened to me before. Not the part like this, but I've had my phone ring. And someone goes, yeah, hi, we're with the Pew Research Center. And we just want to take like 3 to 4 minutes of your time. Are you a registered voter? Yes. What party do you affiliate with? Well, I'm a conservative. I don't really affiliate with the Republican Party, but I'm a registered Republican. Okay. What is your overall stance on Trump's approval rating? And your brain's going to go, he's deporting 2-year-olds now. Well, not too high, maybe a 4. Okay, that's all we needed. Thank you. Next person. And they love to do these polls. This is something I watched a special on this dude, and he wasn't a big dude in politics. He was just a nerd, and I love watching nerds sometimes. And he talked about when some of these researchers saved their polls for the most amazing times. When like all kind of fake news comes out about Trump, 24 hours later, they do a poll that they've been planning for weeks or even months. And that's what you're seeing today. Check this out. Let's see. I think we have another one from this one, or maybe it's later on. Let me see. Now, we're going to go into the raid in Colorado now. If you guys missed it, there was a huge raid of an underground nightclub, which is an illegal nightclub. It involved human trafficking, drug sales. They got guns. Over 200 people were arrested at this nightclub. Over 100, more than 50%. Were criminal, illegal aliens. You can't make this stuff up. It was in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is amazing to me because Colorado, I mean, we know that Colorado has some very woke pro-anti-America policies. One of them is SB 25-276 that the Senate, I think, decided last week that immigration status, addresses, and even vehicle records are off limits to ICE. So when a federal government, they have somebody they're looking for that's a criminal, Colorado has said, we're not going to give you any information on it. We've been to Aurora, Colorado. We've been to Denver, Colorado. We've been to a lot of these places, guys. And let me tell you, it's not what it used to be. Colorado Springs was absolutely beautiful. But again, SB 25-276, it literally endangers the people of the states, their families, and your safety if you're in Colorado. Now let's take a look at this. This was the video of the raid yesterday. So a beautiful thing to see right there. And so they arrested, you know how many officers were involved in this arrest? Over 300. This had been planned for quite some time, guys. And great planning. No officers were injured. And again, when you have TDA and MS-13 gang members, you have people with guns. Another thing that was quite disturbing, some of their armed security that was paid to be armed security at this event was U.S. service members. So hopefully there's some repercussions to them. That is, again, when you take that oath, I'm sorry. Here's some other video. And we got more. There's even an update from Pam Bondi from this morning. Listen to this officer, this person from the DEA, and listen to what he says.
Be here with that show of force.
So this is an underground illegal.
Some perspective here, 300 law enforcement officers. What brought about this kind of requirement, this kind of need to be here with that show of force?
So this is an underground illegal nightclub, okay? And what was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there. We had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes. And in fact, we had over 100 illegal aliens inside as well. And those over 100 illegal aliens were taken into custody by ICE.
Active duty service members helping as security here. Can you elaborate on that at all?
So it's an ongoing investigation, but we had over a dozen active duty service members in the club tonight, either as patrons or working as armed security.
Yeah. Again, if you are an active duty service member and you're out pulling this stuff, I'm sorry. You're being paid by foreign terrorist groups, MS-13, TDA. Really quick. First off, give a shout out to old Uncle Bill. He gifted 5 memberships. So everybody give old Uncle Bill a big thank you in the chat. And if you received a membership, tell him thank you, guys. Check this out, guys. Let's see. If you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, and entertainment, then check out Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media website. You'll get breaking news stories and commentary from the top media figures. If you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social post, then get on Truth Social today. Join a growing community of patriots on a free speech platform designated to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech. Make your voices heard. Join the movement. Join Truth Social today, guys. You can go over to truthsocial.com or download the app and become a member. So let's finish up on some of these topics. This was another video. Hey, there's one part in this I absolutely love. The same buses that were used to infiltrate your city with illegal aliens, criminal illegal aliens. It's right there in the background. Look at right there. You see that white bus on the top left. How many times have we seen those buses? They're finally being used for good. Think about that. ICE had to detain over 100 illegal aliens. Look at, you have IRS police. You had, let me see if I'm going to go through this again. I want you to look at some of the different, you had a federal agent right there. You have the FBI right there. Look at that. U.S. Postal Inspector Police. When you talk about a joint operation task force, and we're going to talk about another one, this is huge. This is putting everything out there to protect the citizens of the United States. We have to do this. We have to do this. This crime going on through the United States is unmanageable. Listen to Pam Bondi on the raid of the nightclub, and listen to how many warnings the Biden administration and the FBI got prior to Trump taking office, and they didn't act on it. Listen.
FBI, U.S. Marshals, America is safer tonight thanks to Donald Trump. Last night, Brian, what they did, so to back up, during the Biden administration, they received 170 911 calls to that club alone. That club we were just watching, 170 calls. Wouldn't you think that would have been a red flag? Nothing happened. Guns, shootings, ag batteries, nothing happened. So under Donald Trump, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, ATF, ICE, everyone went in together. DEA led this investigation, went in, got 115 illegal immigrants, aliens in our country, arrested them, 2 with warrants, 12 guns seized. So what would happen in this club is you would go in, security would give you a menu of drugs, cocaine, there's something new called pink cocaine, meth, you could go in a bathroom stall, get that, there was prostitution, all these things going on. And we just now identified a member of Sinaloa cartel was also in there.
So MS-13, Sinaloa, TDA, promises made, promises kept. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if we had a real media who wanted drugs off the street, who wanted these underground nightclubs shut down, who wanted, Democrats, they love it when a conservative gets their gun taken away. But when gang members get their guns taken away, there is no applaud. There is no positive coverage from legacy media. It's just absolutely insane. And Trump definitely trolled the press today. Again, they are having a hard time getting legacy media like MSNBC to even cover all the illegal alien drug dealers, the murderers, the child molesters that have been arrested. So right across from the press and outside the White House, they stay intense outside the White House. It's where they give their briefings, their updates. Take a look at this. You notice the White House, these are all the ones that have been arrested. Rape, sexual offense against a child, child pornography, fentanyl and illegal guns, sexual assault, rape, murder, homicide, murder and robbery, sexual conduct on a child, all these things. This is what the mainstream media, the legacy media, gets to look at now. Murder, sexual assault of a child, sexual assault of a child. Now, you would think with those arrests, especially against our children, that you would have somebody, just anybody in legacy media saying, great job, Donald Trump. Nope, but we can say it. Great job, Donald Trump. Look at, this was also put in the White House press briefing room. This was put on, this is great. This was put on every seat for the press, and it's a packet. 100 ICE arrests, and it tells you when they were arrested and what their crimes are. So that's just great. That was actually shared by Reagan Reese It says inside the briefing room, there is a packet of 100 ICE arrests made on every briefing room chair. I love how they do it. Now, this was shared actually by the White House. It says MSNBC. It says chess, not checkers. I love that part. Chess, not checkers. This is from the White House. MSNBC finally reports on the child rapists, murderers, fentanyl dealers, and violent illegal aliens Biden let loose to destroy our communities. Thankfully, the Trump administration is hunting them down. Look at this.
Has put up about 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. Way of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. So therefore, no matter what network you're on, that includes MSNBC, if you're doing a hit from the White House right now, those pictures will be behind you. The White House doing a briefing in about a half hour about what they're doing here. White House has put up about 100 posters.
I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh, that is so hilarious, guys. That is beyond, again, the trolling capabilities from this administration are just epic. We see it all the time. Let's see, was there another one? And then there was a lot of press briefings this morning. We're going to get through one right now, and this was Tom Homan.
For 40 years, they don't understand why emotional. The morale of ICE and Border Patrol is at all-time high because they're getting to uphold the oath they took, and they're enforcing the law. Border Patrol and the Biden administration, I met with hundreds of them. They felt like Uber drivers and tourist agents. These men and women join the ranks of ICE and Border Patrol to enforce the law, make the community safer, and protect national security. I hear it all the time. There's a lot of people in this country who don't like me. I don't care. But when I walk to an airport, I have many people walking up to me and thank me for what I'm doing, and I'm not taking credit for anything. The success of the border and immigration enforcement is President Trump and the men and women wearing that uniform. God bless each and every one of them. But I take a pleasure in seeing it because in 40 years of doing this job, people always want to say, why are you so emotional when you testify? Why are you so emotional on network? Because if they wore my shoes for 40 years, they'd understand why I'm emotional. I've talked to little girls as young as 9 years old that were raped multiple times by the cartel members. And when you get to your knees and you talk to that little girl and everything innocent and pure has been ripped from her, when you listen to the Laken Riley, 17 minutes, that young lady fighting for her life, don't just think, okay, a young woman died. Think of how she died, the terror that she went through, and these children that are sexually assaulted. I stood in the back of a tractor trailer and 19 dead people at my feet that baked to death. Illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. And so every sick person we take off the streets, especially child rapists, it makes this country much safer. Every illegal alien we arrest, public safety threat, one at a time, makes this country safer.
Absolutely epic and very, very true. Again, guys, I want to thank you all for hitting that like button, sharing this out. Without you guys, we cannot grow. It's up to you guys to get us out there to your friends, family, neighbors, and enemies. So we want to thank you for that. Once again, we are 100% viewer funded. If you would like to help us out, we do have we're going to have a second show today, but we do have something tomorrow. Turning Point USA is going to be at Fresno State with Chloe, I think is how you say it. That's the same person that did the detransition rally at the state capitol where Trans Tifa showed up, assaulted multiple journalists. That's where our camera and our equipment were stolen probably a little over a year ago, if you guys remember. So we're going to be heading out there and we're going to be bringing it to you live. So again, we appreciate your donations. We appreciate everything you do. If you want to help us out, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And we have our Zelle link on our website. That is theoreoexpress.com. There is a donate now button on our website, and we appreciate each and every one of you and just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat, everybody that shares us out. A special thanks to all the mods that help us out. Again, keeping the chat clean, keeping it so you guys can actually have normal conversations in there. We appreciate you all. So just want to say thank you very much. And again, we will be live a little later today. And so have a great day. And I'm guessing it's going to be between 3 o'clock Pacific to 4 o'clock Pacific when we go live. It takes a couple hours to get all the information and the show set up. So once again, thank you guys very much, and we will see you soon.